Thank you for joining with me again as we continue our exploration of A Course in Miracles. Today we'll be beginning chapter 21. In our last video, we completed chapter 20. And so today we'll be reviewing the introduction. And then we will be practicing lesson number 40 together. And then we will be reviewing principle number 8. So I'll go ahead now and share my screen. And I click on Read A Course in Miracles, clicking on the text, scrolling down the table of contents to chapter 21, Reason and Perception. And we're just going to go over the introduction today. All right. Paragraph 1. Projection makes perception. The world you see is what you gave it, nothing more than that. But though it is no more than that, it is not less. Therefore, to you, it is important. It is the witness to your state of mind, the outside picture of an inward condition. As a man thinketh, so does he perceive. Therefore, seek not to change the world, but choose to change your mind about the world. Perception is a result and not a cause. And that is why order of difficulty in miracles is meaningless. Everything looked upon with vision is healed and holy. Nothing perceived without it means anything. And where there is no meaning, there is chaos. Okay. So the paragraph begins with projection makes perception. And then a little further down, it says, as a man thinketh, so does he perceive. And the paragraph also says perception is a result and not a cause. Okay, so it sounds like projection is the cause. So if projection makes perception, then perception is a result of projection. And so if we think of a projector, what we know is that the impressions are projected onto a screen or onto a wall, and then those images and those pictures are seen and then interpreted, made meaning about. So this paragraph seems to be pointing to a process where our perception is an effect of a projection. And so when we think about the way we use the word perception, actually, maybe it's worthwhile looking at the etymology. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. Okay, so the word perception originates from the Latin word, I'm not going to read it because I don't know how to pronounce it, meaning a taking hold of, receiving, or understanding. Okay, so to grasp with the mind. Grasping, comprehending. Okay, so per means through, and the root of the word means to grasp. Okay, so it's through awareness that we gain understanding. Okay, so that's perception. And so it sounds like then that we're using all of our senses to make up what we perceive something to be like. And so it sounds like that perception is subjective. So what my mind is doing with this is I'm thinking about how when we tell stories, let's say that a friend of ours is telling a story about a family member who we haven't met yet, but we have experience of our friend and we may have already had experience of previous stories that they've shared about their family. And so using the images, pictures, sounds, color, probably batting it against our own value system, our morals, expectations, then we create our perception. So even though we actually have never met the person, based on the story that we hear, based on our own past experience, our own values and morals, then we build a picture, we paint a picture in our mind. And what that tells us is that it's not necessarily accurate. It's not necessarily real. The paragraph mentions vision. So we've got this comparison between perception and vision. And so vision is our experience through the eyes of light. We can only see something because of light. If we don't have light, we can't see it. So we can only see something if there is light to reflect off of the object and into our eyes. And the incredible sophisticated apparatus that is our eyes, that sends that information of light, which is waves, in through the optical nerve, I presume, and then into the brain. The mind then still is making meaning based on how it perceives. The mind is still making meaning based on future expectations, value systems, morality, past experiences. So the Course often talks about vision, pure vision, seeing things as they are, not as we think they are. And so this paragraph is reminding us of that. The paragraph also mentions the very first principle of miracles. It says, and that is why order of difficulty in miracles is meaningless. So let's look at that again. Let me share the screen again. And let's look at that first principle of miracles. That principle number 1, there is no order of difficulty in miracles. One is not harder or bigger than another. They're all the same. All expressions of love are maximal. So miracles are equated here as expressions of love. And so if we're seeing with love, then we are seeing truly. If we are seeing the world through fear, through judgment, through doubt, envy, then we're going to experience the world as a place that is looking to take advantage of us. Whereas if we look at the world as beautiful and creative and full of possibility, then we're going to have a very different experience of what it is to be in the world. We do not share the same worldview. Let's stop here for a second and let's go back to our introduction. And let's look at paragraph 2. It says, damnation is your judgment on yourself, and this you will project upon the world. See, it is damned, and all you see is what you did to hurt the Son of God. If you behold disaster and catastrophe, you try to crucify him. If you see holiness and hope, you join the will of God to set him free. There is no choice that lies between these two decisions, and you will see the witness to the choice you made, and learn from this to recognize which one you chose. The world you see but shows you how much joy you have allowed yourself to see in you and to accept as yours. And if this is its meaning, then the power to give it joy must lie within you. So this is putting us in the position of power, actually, because it's asking us to look at the projection, to look out at the world that we see, and then learn about ourselves, to learn about what we believe the world to be like. Because if we see the world as ugly, as violent, as damned, to use the language of the paragraph, then we will experience the world as disastrous and catastrophic. However, if we see the world as beautiful and creative and wondrous and full of hope, then we're going to experience a very different kind of world. So what this paragraph is asking us to do is, okay, take stock of how you see the world. Do you see the world as crazy? Do you see the world as uncontrollable? Do you see the world as a playground? How do you see the world? What's your worldview? Because then that teaches you the decision that you made inside on how you judge the world. And by the way that you're judging the world, you must have judged yourself first. And when you judge yourself, the sun, the sonship, the holy Christos that is within you, then you crucify him. How can you not? How can you not crucify him as you crucify yourself? So the world you see, but shows you how much joy you have allowed yourself to see in you and to accept as yours. And so what's great about this paragraph is that our power is being handed back to us. The choice is ours, how we wish to experience the world and how much joy we wish to cultivate in any given moment. So let's stop here. I'm going to go back now to go back to the workbook for students, because we're going to practice lesson 40 together. So as always, I'll have the narrator read it for us.
Lesson 40. I am blessed as a son of God. Today we will begin to assert some of the happy things to which you are entitled, being what you are. No long practice periods are required today, but very frequent short ones are necessary. Once every 10 minutes would be highly desirable, and you are urged to attempt this schedule and to adhere to it whenever possible. If you forget, try again. If there are long interruptions, try again. Whenever you remember, try again. You need not close your eyes for the exercise periods, although you will probably find it more helpful if you do. However, you may be in a number of situations during the day when closing your eyes would not be feasible. Do not miss a practice period because of this. You can practice quite well under any circumstances if you really want to. Today's exercises take little time and no effort. Repeat the idea for today and then add several of the attributes you associate with being a son of God, applying them to yourself. One practice period might, for example, consist of the following. I am blessed as a son of God. I am happy, peaceful, loving, and contented. Another might take this form. I am blessed as a son of God. I am calm, quiet, assured, and confident. If only a brief period is available, merely telling yourself that you are blessed as a son of God will do.
It cracks me up that it says that today's exercises take little time and no effort, while the instructions are to practice this, to remind yourself, I am blessed as a son of God every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes. Okay, so then as you're doing your practice, you can use it as a meditation. So if you wanted to close your eyes, repeating the idea for today's lesson in your mind, I am blessed as a son of God, and then just allowing these words to bubble up that affirm that for you. So the example that they gave is, I am happy, peaceful, loving, and contented. Or you might use it as an observation. So if your eyes are open and you're in your day, remembering the idea for today's lesson, I'm blessed as the Son of God, and then observing what's true in that moment. I am calm, I am quiet, I am assured and confident. So for our practice together, let's sit with our eyes closed for 1 minute. We will repeat to ourselves, I am blessed as a son of God, and then just let whatever words bubble up, let it bubble up into your consciousness. And so, as always, as we begin to prepare for our little mini meditation, just begin to bring your awareness to the support of the floor, the support of the furniture, the support of the air, and just start to relax into this now moment, just recognizing that you have everything you need to exist. You might want to bring your attention to your breath as it is, just going in and out. And then whenever you're ready, you can let your eyelids rest over your eyes. I'm going to go ahead and start the timer. Let me track down the timer. Actually, I'll go ahead and share the screen again so that you can see the text if you need to. But I am inviting you to just let the words bubble up from inside or just drip in from higher consciousness. Okay, so I'm looking for the timer. Here it is. Okay, we're just going to practice for 1 minute, so I'm starting the timer now. I am blessed as a son of God. So that's our timer. I am blessed as a son of God. And so again, the practice is to repeat this idea every 10 minutes throughout the day. So good luck with that. Also, what came to my mind in the stillness was that some people might have resistance to language. I am blessed as a son of God. So some people might not like that. So I've shared before how I have come to terms with the jargon of A Course in Miracles. When the word sun is used, I hear it as sun, as light. And so that's how it fits for me. So I think if you feel resistance, maybe go a little bit deeper with that and check that out. Go searching for what is underneath that resistance and what is beneath that and what is beneath that, and just keep sinking deeper and deeper into it until you find that great well of peace within. And you might just want to keep repeating it without any judgment, just practicing and just seeing what comes out of that perhaps just through the repetition, it becomes neutral. And the irony is that the whole purpose of this is to teach us and to show us that we are the ones that create meaning. We are the ones that are the source of our own stress, our own upset, our own chaos. Okay, so I'm going to go back to share the screen again, because we now are going to look at the principle of miracles, and we are in principle number 8. And so what I like to say is that if you feel like it, you can take a screenshot of the principle and use this as a source of contemplation as well. Principle number 8, miracles are healing because they supply a lack. They are performed by those who temporarily have more for those who temporarily have less. I like how the principle talks about temporarily. So miracles are healing, they supply a lack, performed by those who temporarily have more for those who temporarily have less. So let's consider a situation where mum is home, she's waiting for the kids to come home from school. Let's say the teenager comes home from school and is in a bad mood. Something didn't go the way they wanted, the way they expected. Something happened at school that wasn't pleasant, or it's just hormones and they're in a mood. And they come in, and now mum is in a different room. She's not even in the same room, but she can intuit, she can feel the mood through her senses, right? She's listening to the way the door is open, the way the door is closed, the way the backpack is placed on the floor or hung up on the hook, or can feel out, can hear the sound of the footsteps. So if she is full up, if mum is full up and she has more to give, then her full upness can de-escalate, not necessarily immediately, but in time, can bring healing to that depression, the depression in the mood. So what often happens in families, though, is that the one who is in the depressed mood, the one who is in upset and in a state of illusion and chaos, actually, sometimes that is so strong that it does have the effect of bringing other people in the household down. So that's something to pay attention to. So how do we fill ourselves up so that we can be the miracle, so that we can bring more love into the moment, that we are full up, it fills up where they are lacking, and so that then they can experience that shift in perception. They can experience that shift of mood inside of themselves. It is a responsibility, and like the paragraph said, it is a choice. Okay, so this concludes our video for today. Thank you for joining with me. And as always, I highly recommend you join a meditation class or one of the meditation natural healing self-help classes. You can find the online registration links on the calendar on the website, www.elilacenter.org. The meditation class is on the 3rd Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. and the meditation and natural healing self-help class is on the 4th Monday of the month. And so you are very welcome to join. And of course, you can look at other events that are on the calendar. And if you're local, please join us. Otherwise, join us virtually. All right. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.